Hey guys, welcome to this week's show. With me, as always, GM of Saucier Pass, Corey.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for always being here.
Every
We
week.
had a pretty crazy week last week in some matchups here. So we're gonna talk about last week's results. We're gonna talk about the standings, and I mean that just continues to be a mess. We're going to talk about a couple trades, and then we're going to preview this week. It's a big week, last full week before the trade deadline. So yeah, remember, guys, the 20th. I want to say the 23rd, whatever Wednesday is. It's Wednesday. Wednesday is the trade deadline of next week. So you might have some decisions to make after you lose this week, boys. I guess let's get into it here. Start with last week's results. Let's talk about this first matchup here. Le Champion Team Ramrod defeating I Got Canceled 7-5 with him promptly after losing saying, hey, I'm going to buy. Why don't you tell me about this matchup here, Corey?
I mean, squeezing out a Sunday shutout against the guy near the bottom of the standings. He put up a good fight though. But your keepers came out for you. Got you the second shutout of the week. That's huge. And a big win for you in our division, right? So no, good on you there.
To be honest, he had about 12 games more than me last week. So I was worried that man games would just get me. There was a lot of close categories considering. But I feel if we were on even footing, I would have taken care of him. But it was a good week. I messaged him, said way to keep it close. And yeah, it was an interesting week. I was worried about losing on the last day. Honestly, I needed Kemper to get that start, and I was worried he wasn't going to get it. And then he had Malkin all of a sudden, who was activated, and all he needed was 3 shots from Malkin, and he would have taken a point away from me. And he got 1. He got 1 from Malkin in that game. And then Kemper not only got the start, but he got me the shutout, right? But we were tied in save percentage going to the game, but he must have a percentage higher, and he had the point. Both at 0.925, but he had the point, so I needed Kemper to start.
And I mean that's probably better for you, because I think maybe if you had that save percentage,
I might not have started.
You had nothing to lose, right? So to get the win and the shutout, and because he ended up losing the week with a 925. That's a good week. So that's yeah.
It was a good battle. And now he declared selling, but he looked at his schedule in the standings. He decided after I'm gonna go all in here and buy. So good for him. He wants to be competitive now. Now that football's over, Derek's back.
Now the season started.
Now we start the second round through, right? Because this is the second week of that second round. So, this matchup here, Captain Crunch taking it to Cherry Picking Daddy, 13-0. What happened here?
Taking it. I mean, we always question Domo. We look, and then he made a post about his goalies. His 6 goalie wins. His team plays lights out. Kyle did not have a bad week, but Domo, he must have had. We know he makes a lot of moves, right? So he gets a lot of man games in from that. But 189 shots. He must have had a game advantage. I didn't see how it was through the week, but 105 hits. Kyle put up good stats. He had a decent week, but he just got obliterated.
The only time that I saw Kyle with a point was on Saturday night. I was like, all of a sudden it was 11-1.
It's getting interesting.
Yeah,
that's a tough loss, but I mean, you go into that week, that's the one you want to lose, right? Well, win a couple close ones, but the top team in the league, you got to be okay losing to him.
That pushed Kyle into sell mode, right? So everything went on for sale pretty much. So
I was surprised by that.
Domo broke him. Daltrey defeating the never-ending rebuild 8-6. This was a really close one. Back and forth a lot. Why don't you tell me about this?
Yeah, I wasn't following this one too much, but that's a big win for Daltrey. Puts him in third in the league, right? Right behind you in Division Two, surpassing Neil and Dan here. That's a big win for him, and that's a huge loss for Travis. It's close to a must win, but we see him selling other pieces today. So
I think he made that choice now, right? With just the way things have fallen for him. But no, you're right. It was a close matchup. I know I was at work on Sunday with Travis, and we're watching the score. All of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, I got 5 pins. Nick Paul fought, and who did he fight? He fought Wilson, so it didn't really help him."
no, that's pretty funny.
Dan bouncing back, taking a Braden bye week here, defeating Braden 11-1. It's hard to say, but I think Braden's almost a lock for this Caucasaurus here. But why don't you tell me about this matchup?
I wouldn't say he's a lock. He's only 2 points ahead of me, so I'd like to say he is. I don't want to have to take picks with it.
So you're saying you're going for it? You're going for it?
Oh, going for it. Backdoor, baby. No, it's a big win for Dan. Braden bye week though. I didn't expect this, to be honest. But good on you, Dan.
Yeah, I just don't know what Dan's doing. He's selling his team, but he's still holding on to those playoff spots. Will he fall out?
He hasn't really bought though.
No, he
so
hasn't.
It's like he's been committed to selling kind of since day one. He's making smart trades, but he's not buying. But he's still winning, like 9 wins. Like, fuck off, Dan.
Corey's wondering how you get 9 wins in a season.
Yeah, we got to have a talk, buddy.
Oh, it's a good matchup. Speaking of a big win here, Hatcher ready to rumble. Keeping his playoff hopes alive here, right? Still hold on to 8th spot. Defeating Tyler. Please don't feed the goalie 11-1. I want you to tell me about this.
He had a good week. His team really played well. His goalies didn't do great, but he got a lot of starts. But that's a big win for him. You got Seaman on the ice, trailing behind. They're fighting for that last spot.
They're tied, right?
Yeah, but then you got Kyle and Travis right on their heels, and now they're selling. It's like you got to feel a little bit more comfortable, especially if you're Mark or Nick here, right?
Yeah, like for one of them to make it in, someone's got to fall out. So it'll be interesting, right? Speaking of Mark, 7 on the ice here, keeping pace with Patches by defeating you 9-4. What happened here?
He beat me. His team played well. I even had like 10 games advantage on him or something, 11 games, and just my team didn't pull it together. I did get a lot of injuries this week. First time I've really been injured. I had like 4 or 5 guys out throughout the course of the 2 weeks, so they didn't have a lot of scheduled games. But you know what? I'm still fighting for that trophy, 15th place. But if you look here, you got 12th lost, 11th lost, 10th lost, 16th lost, 14th lost, 15th lost. We're fighting for your trophy there, Kyle.
I expect to see that a lot, though. But
yeah, you should.
The matchups last week, right, for the most part, were a team in the playoffs versus a team not in the playoffs. The exception is we have Charlie versus Shaft there. We'll get to that. This one, I love to see this. Big upset. I love me an upset when it's playoff race time. Clefbaum defeating Suck My Ojik 10-5. Why don't you tell me about this?
That's a big win for Kyle. I know he's not really pushing, but he's still kind of there. That's a if there's any chance of him making the playoffs, which I assume he doesn't really want to happen, that's a must win. Markstrom coming out with big shutout too. He's just killing it. Like Calgary's doing well for him as the goalies. Yeah, that's an upset. Sucks for Neil, but is what it is.
Yeah, it brought Neil down right all the way to 5th, so that's a big loss. Like is
that the first time he hasn't been in 3rd? Because he's always been like right behind Domo, right?
Yeah, but he's still in that position in that division.
Yep.
But it's just now a couple people have jumped him, right? So biggest matchup of last week, if you ask me, was Charlie Browns versus the whole shaft. Sean pulled out an 8-7 victory here. Really close matchup. I mean, it was back and forth all weekend. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think of this?
Well, this is the matchup that I said I predicted a tie for, and I mean, you can't get closer. Well, that's a big win for Sean, separating himself in the standings. Right, you can see Nick moving down to 7th place, and Sean jumping up to 4th. That's a big win for him. Sucks for Nick. I mean, he gets me next week or this week, so hopefully it's not too bad for him. But
so he should bounce back.
We'll see. We'll get there.
You give the poor guy a hard time here. Let's take a look at the standings here. As you can see, we're back to a 50-50 split here in playoff spots between Division 1 and 2. Although Semin's like right on the doorstep. You can see Captain Crunchton at 24 points, right? So he's way he's 4 points up for the division lead. But you got Neil here. Neil jumped down to 5th, but realistically, he's tied for 3rd. Right? There's 3 of them at 20 points. You got Daltrey and Charlie Brown's also at 20 points. Myself, I'm sitting a point above them at 21. It just shows you how close the standings are, right? You got 8th and 9th sitting at 17 points. So they're not far out. A lot of movement could be done over the next couple of weeks, right? So it's very interesting. Top of the standings. Why don't you tell me about the bottom of the standings here?
I'm very familiar with that.
That's why I went to you, the expert.
You know what? I'll comment though. You can tell like it's really getting close in the middle here. I feel like the bottom half of where I am at least is falling out of contention, obviously. But like Nick here, he's only 1 point ahead of 8th place and 9th place. Like we could see some major turns real quick here. So it's fun to see though. I like it. It's making it interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what kind of moves are done. But I feel like everyone's bought who's wanted to buy and everyone's sold who wants to sell. So there's not gonna be any surprise there. But you got Clef Bomb and Please Don't Feed the Goalie at 11 points. Me at 10 and Braden at 8, fighting for Kyle's trophy here. Travis isn't out of it. How many more weeks do we have till the playoffs start? Mathematically, what are we looking at now?
What week are we? We're 17. I think we go to week 23 is the last one.
We're on week 17 right now. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, like 14 points. Like
there's a lot of ground that can be made up, right?
Yep. So that's why I was kind of surprised with a couple of the teams, like Kyle and Travis quitting. But I mean, you got to make your call now before trade deadline, right? So
you got a week.
Make the best trades you can make, and then see where you're sitting.
If you still make it, you make it, right?
Exactly.
Well, I think most of the big deals are done, but you might see a few things sneak through before the deadline. But
I feel like the two divisions are quite balanced right now.
Yeah,
they really are.
We had a few trades, only 4. We had you involved in one. You picked up Lassie Thompson from Kyle for Victor Arvidsson. Why don't you tell me about this?
Yeah, this is like a future considerations trade. I mean, Kyle did it earlier in the year. I was pretty stingent on a pick with him. Get him Arvidsson back and taking a guy off his hands. He's not active, so it didn't mean much to me. But yeah, dropped him and moved him second right away when I could Monday morning.
I guess let's talk about the next one here. Cherry Picking Daddy, active again once he declared that he was selling. He moved Alex Killorn and a 15th over to Neil for Drake Batherson, who's been out for a while, and a 10th. What do you think of this?
I think it's a good trade for Kyle. I think a 10th is a lot for Killorn. I mean, but he's with Tampa, right? So really anything can happen there. I didn't think he needed it. Felt like there was some time or some better players available, but I think it's a good trade for Kyle. It's not the worst. Like it's a 10th, right? 10th for the 15th. So I know he's getting a little low on those low picks because he's pretty all in this year, and I can't blame him. So
I think
maybe
that's it.
Yeah.
A lot of the picks are already gone, right? So
I know.
if you can get a 10th, that's gold right now.
Yeah, and that's part of it too, right? Like, is that if we look at that the top deal right here, is that why Travis got rid of Scheifele for 9th? Is that why he's okay? Because there's literally nobody offering much right now. So
Well, I think that one there was he's been trying to move Scheifele for a while. There was no market for him.
I
No one
know.
wanted to pay anything. Yeah, I think it's just circumstance. And he was gonna try and move Foligno and keep Scheifele, but then now he can keep Foligno and he's happier there.
I think it's a better choice too.
More well-rounded, like just a better player.
And young.
I thought this deal was a pretty big deal. Huge deal. Yeah, I'm surprised. I like the haul that Kyle got here. Well, Kyle got Brad Marchand, Bobrovsky, and a 7th, and 7 on the ice got Forsberg, Yari, and a 10th. At one point in the day, Kyle was kind of asking me advice on it. And he showed me the trade, but there was no picks involved, and I still thought that's a good deal. Like you're getting a goalie on a hot Florida team, and Marchand, who just puts everything up, right? I think Yari's the better goalie stat-wise, but Bobrovsky's the sure bet because he plays on a better team. And Forsberg's not bad himself, right? But I think Marchand was the better player out of the two players, and he ended up getting a pick with it. So what do you think here?
It's so funny how you can have such different perspective. Like I like this trade for Mark. I mean, the 7th for the 10th, sure, if it gets the deal done for him. Forsberg's really done well this season, and he's really shown his old self, and he's really picking it up. Yari is a younger goalie, right? I know Bobrovsky's name's been thrown around last season from our old GMs. I know early in the season before he really broke out, Mark was even talking about him to me, trying to make a move. So hopefully he stays hot for Kyle. Marchand's a little pain in the ass. Great player for fantasy hockey. Great player for fantasy hockey though. I think it's a good trade for both teams. It'll be interesting to see how this trade turns out down the road. I'd say this would be a good one to see start of next year. How did this look? So
I think it'll be good for both. But I do like Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's not going anywhere for the next few years. They have him 4 more years at $10 million. Florida's stacked.
That's a hard contract to move.
Exactly. So you're not
giving up something. Yeah.
You're not moving it. So we might as well play him, right? Yeah. Don't have him sitting on your bench at $10 million. That's bad. But I think now they have a better team in front of them, right? And he's just not left to dry. So, but yeah, Yari's a good goalie too. Just how many years does Pittsburgh have left in them, right? Will he even be in Pittsburgh in a few years? Because we're probably going to head to a rebuild soon.
He's done well, though.
Oh, he's done well. His stats, his numbers are really good.
Yeah. No, I agree with what you said about Bobrovsky. Like, you've seen the same thing this season with Markstrom in Calgary. He'd had a terrible first year in Calgary. Not terrible, but nothing special. Not what we expected. And then to bounce back this year, same as Bobrovsky, just showing his true form. Like, he was always a great goalie in Columbus. So I think it's a big trade for both teams. Yeah,
it's good.
Good.
You don't see these deals too often. Like, these are franchise altering, right? So
it is, exactly.
Again, though, Mark's the new GM. He wants to put his touch on his team, right? And we all know whoever knows him knows he's a Penguins fan. So I think that played a little factor in there too. But
a little biased.
Well, we might as well talk about this trade that went through today. We talked about it earlier. Shifley and a 16th go to Derek, who's buying now. Travis receives Perot and a 9th. What do you think of this?
I think it's a good deal for Derek getting Shifley and only having to give up a 9. That's if he can make the playoffs, that'd be wicked for him. He's at a point where really it's a buyer's market. And like few weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, it's definitely not that way. There's not really anybody fighting to give away their picks like him. So he has a lot of buying power. So it'd be interesting to see what he can do with that.
He's got a lot of picks. He's got all his picks pretty much. So,
yeah,
no, it'll be interesting. I like Shifley. He's having an off year, but so is all of Winnipeg. Winnipeg's just been horrible this year.
It's been a weird year for them. I think it's good for. It's a good trade. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Travis is a decent return.
And Travis is able to get rid of his 16th. It's not like it's a small upgrade. At least there's pounds to it, right?
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this week's matchups. Some big matchups this week. We'll start off with this one. It's not really that big. The Champion Team Ramrod versus Please Don't Feed the Goalie. So this is the part of my schedule where it gets a little easy for a couple weeks before I go through hell. But what do you think? Who do you have in this matchup?
I mean, I'm hoping you just jinxed yourself, and Tyler's going to come through with the upset. But I'm kind of chasing Tyler here so that I don't get the golden trophy. I'm torn. I'm going to go with you though. I think it's the obvious choice. It's not one that I want to go against.
Yeah, I just think Team Ramrod's going to take it to Please Don't Feed the Goalie this week, which is nice for me. I feel like this is almost like a bye week recoup after a tight matchup last week. I say that, but things could happen. Who knows? Francouz is playing against Dallas tonight, so maybe Dallas lights him up. I don't know. They didn't go with the hot hand and Kemper. They're saving him for Vegas tomorrow to shut down Eichel in his return. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Ramrod. I got canceled versus 7 on the ice. It's not looking too good right now, but who do you got?
I gotta go with Mark here for sure. I know Derek's gonna be buying, but Mark's active. He's looking to improve his team. I don't think he's gonna slow down if the trend continues. So I'm gonna keep with him. I'm gonna go with Mark.
I'm gonna go with Derek. I saw what his team can do. They are gritty, and if he's actually focused, which he seems to be for the rest of the season. Now football's over. He's buying, so his team's going to get better this week. And he knows it's a make or break week for him, right? If he loses this week, it really screws him over, right? He's playing against the 9th place team. So
yeah, this is a must win for sure.
I think he either does it this week or he's done. But I'm gonna have faith that he's gonna play hard this week and try to make sure he gets in, right? So or at least increases his chances of getting in. So I'm gonna take Derek in this week. Interesting matchup here. Cherry picking daddy versus get off my grass. Who you got, Corey?
I'm gonna go cherry picking daddy on this one. No, I'm not convinced Dan's team's gonna keep winning. I don't know how you got to 9. I don't think you're gonna get to 10 this week.
It's fair.
What do you got?
It sucks for Kyle that Marshall's suspended right now. But I don't know about Dan's goalies, but so I'm gonna also think that Kyle's gonna sneak it out this week. I think it'll be close. I don't think it's gonna be anything crazy. I think it's gonna be like a low score. Like right now it's 5-4, maybe like a 6-5 week, something like that. But I think Kyle will edge him out. Here's a big matchup. Y'all try the beef versus suck my OJ. Who you got?
This is a chance for Neil to take back that 3rd place in the league, or at least a chance at it. Not necessarily a win will guarantee that, but I'm gonna go with Neil on this one. I know he's pretty all in. Daltrey has not stopped winning, but you know what? I think it's gonna end right now.
Daltrey got 10 wins. I'm gonna go with Daltrey. I think his team is a little more well-rounded these days than we're used to seeing. This is a great test for him, right?
It is.
Played against Neil, so it's a big matchup. It could go either way. I'm not discounting Neil's team at all. I think Daltrey might edge it out this week, but I think it's gonna be a great matchup to watch throughout the week.
I agree. Definitely a highlight, like the match of the week, in my opinion. It's a big one.
It's the biggest one, I think. Yeah, for sure. Captain Crunch versus Patch. You ready to rumble? This is a rough one for Patches here, right? So
this is a big test too. It's a big test, yeah.
You want to make the playoffs? This is the team you're going to probably play, right? So this is a big week for Patch. Who do you think? Who do you think's going to take this?
I'm going to go with Patch. I'm going to go with the upset on this one. I like his team. I think he has the team to do it. I know we keep going against Domo. Not really. We've been voting more so his way, but I'm still not convinced.
Yeah,
still not convinced.
You don't believe?
I don't. And it's just the rotation. Like you might have a 12-4 record. What's your record with the team you actually have? 2-0, like minus your keepers. Like there's a lot of movement there, right? So the record doesn't really reflect your team after this much movement. Unless you're like me with my record, it still reflects how shitty my team is.
What do you got? I'm gonna go with Domo. I think he's gonna continue his path of destruction, at least until the trade deadline's passed.
That's fair.
So I think Domo takes it out this week, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's a must-win for Nick. It's a big test. Well, I can't say must-win because if Seven loses too and he loses, then they're all right. But
yeah,
you don't want to start falling points. You don't want to fall points behind right now. You know.
No, for sure.
Braden bye week. Clefbaum's strolling into the Braden bye week after defeating Neil last week. Who you got?
I mean, I went to the scores to see how bad it was. 13-1. It's pretty bad. He's having a really good start to the week. But if I wasn't looking at the scores, I would have probably still gone with Braden. I don't know. This is a tough one. Kyle's team can sneak out some wins, and it really depends on how well his goalies do. I feel Braden has the better players. I hate that I looked because I probably would have taken Braden otherwise, but now I feel like playing the odds. Gonna go with the upset. Go with you, Kyle.
That's the upset? The upset is the guy against
13-1. 13-1. I want the Braden bye week to continue.
I'm gonna go with Kyle. I just think the Flames goalies are just gonna pull it out for him. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what it's gonna come down to. Is how well Markstrom plays this week. But yeah, it's hard for me to say I'm gonna vote for Balboa here. I don't know. I just don't think he has it.
Something doesn't feel right.
Charlie Browns versus the never-ending rebuild. Whew. Big matchup here. Who you got this week, Corey?
Gotta go with Sean. Travis, I think this is gonna be the dagger for him. He's already selling. You know, Sean's not going anywhere. Just came off a huge win over Nick. Travis just coming off a big loss too. Gonna go with Sean.
Yeah, I can't go against Sean in this scenario. Like Travis's goaltending just I mean, so is Sean's. Like Sean's goaltending's been his weakness all year. That's why he's having unprecedented losses here. It's nice to see.
I mean, a hell of a shutout got him the win last week. So
yeah, he hasn't had too many of those good games this year. So
it's not the same regular season Sean as last year.
No.
Will it be a new playoff Sean? I knew.
showing chinks in his armor there. He's gonna have to change the way he does things a bit. I think the league's evolving and he's being left behind here. I'd say that he's in fourth. He's a point behind me.
He's one championship behind us, though.
That's true. That's true.
But he does have 2 second places over me, 2 silver medals. If we're going to count silver and bronze right now, the Olympics. No.
Do we though? Do we?
No. We
Congratulations.
Last place. You have to finish last to get your name on a trophy.
Congratulations, Sean, on being the best loser twice.
We can never get over this. This is going to be an ongoing joke until the Scorchers League retires.
Sean will still have no wins.
We'll see.
We'll all be dead and Sean just playing. Like, come on. Last matchup of the week here, we have you, Saucier Pass, taking on the whole shaft. Who you got?
This will be the first time. Actually, you know what? It's a lie. I was going to say the first time I don't pick Associate. I'm definitely, I got a shutout last night at a Skinner in Edmonton, and I'm still going to go with Nick. I just, my injured team, I don't think I'll be able to compete on a healthy week, so let alone a week that I'm hurt.
Big week for the Oilers. They're the only team with 5 games. So,
and I have both their goalies, so that's good.
It feels like a waste of McDavid for me this week, but I'll take it. But no, I'm going to go with Nick as well. You're going in different directions, right? He's competing, trying to make the playoffs. You're competing, trying not to win a Golden Dick. 2 different battles. I just think he's better positioned to win his battle.
I mean, I could try to win mine. But I'm going for that trophy and his picture next year.
His picture. I think it's gonna be a good week though. I think there's some big matchups. If you look at Daltrey and Neal are now tied at 6. That's gonna be
look at Kyle and Dan now, 5-4. Oh no, they already were. They always were. My bad.
But 8-4 for Domo. Nick was it was like 7-2 earlier, so it's gonna be some interesting matches to watch. But I think Daltrey versus Neal has got to be the big one of the week.
Yeah, so. Captain Crunch and Pacioretty is not far behind. Those are gonna be the 2 big ones to watch for playoff wise, right?
Yeah, because that's a potential first round matchup. Well, there's a lot of potential first round matchups because everything is so close. Yeah. But if you look at just their positioning, right? 8th versus 1st, so this is something that you might see in a few weeks. But I think it's gonna be a good week. Any closing statement here, Corey?
Not really. Maybe give
Nothing
a shout
that hasn't been said before, eh?
Yeah. Good luck this week, Nick. I hope you lose.
He hates that when like his opponent tells him good luck. Like, good luck. He's just spam.
He's not gonna watch the podcast, so I'll send him a few messages. Hey, good luck this week, buddy.
That'll send him right off. No, but I agree. Good luck everyone this week. Some interesting matchups. I look forward to seeing how congested the playoff race gets. It's getting more exciting every week, right? It's just things are just getting tight.
I don't know if you can top last season's though.
The last game.
I think there was like 5 teams that could have missed the playoffs. Not all of them, obviously, but it was tight.
7 weeks is a long time.
It is.
A lot of teams could climb back in.
Yeah, if I win 7 in a row, theoretically,
you're in.
Not necessarily, but I mean, there's a decent chance.
Depends on everyone's schedule, right? Who are you winning against? Who are you losing against? Like
everyone.
I know you are, but I hope to see that continue next week.
Oh, we'll see. Do I got you next week? I know I'm on for a rough run here to end the season. So
I believe we are next week. Let me take a look here.
It'll be nice to, a little preview to see what kind of weeks we're coming into next week.
Yeah, it's us next week here.
What else
That's
do we
what I
got?
thought.
Let's take a quick little preview next. We got any big matchups to look forward to here?
Oh, Derek versus Patches this time. The other guy he's chasing.
Yep.
Daltrey versus the whole shaft.
It's a big
Be a
week.
big match. Dan
Oh.
versus Neil could be big.
I think
Charlie
Neil should be-
Browns versus Seven.
That's half the matchups are huge for the
Yeah.
playoffs race. Yeah. I think it's going to be like that every week, right? So it's
So
exciting.
if you think of it that way, right? If everyone's matched up in big matchups, those teams who are fighting for the bottom, they're going to get points because they're playing each other.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly.
Someone's climbing back closer to the race, right? Not saying in, but
Nope.
well, buddy, I do appreciate you joining me as
Thanks,
always.
Brendan. It's always fun.
Good luck, everyone, this week, and we'll see you out there. Remember, trade deadline a week from tomorrow. The trades can be made after the games have started. I just won't be able to. I won't be able to approve until the next day. But at midnight that night, trades can no longer be made.
And no exceptions.
There's
No
no
last
exception.
minute
It doesn't
detail
actually
changes.
let me do anything. So
Yeah.
deadlines pass and no trades can be made.
Perfect.
All right, you guys. Good luck.
Yep. Have a good one.